we're doing a family engagement evening for Wayne County Schools today. And we're going to be doing some various topics. This is going to be like kind of like a make and take idea workshop to give you some good ideas for math and reading strategies to work with your students at home in a fun way. So we're going to start off with Let's Play a Game. Let's read it and play a game with presenter Rhonda O'Neill. She is our ELA specialist for the county. And then we're going to finish up with our math specialist, Kelly Arthur, with unlocking math learning through games. So we're going to talk about different activities and games that we can do with reading and math strategies at home to help our kids just further their education and be a little better at those subjects. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm so glad to see you guys. But Kelly and I designed this a little differently this time. Usually we're getting right into the reading and the writing of passages. So now we thought we would change it up. It's about that time. So I'm going to walk you into, these are some young games at first, and then I'll move them up, okay? So if you flip over your game board, it's a little scary. We do have a little spider going on, but this is thinking about rhyming, okay? So if you think about rhyming, and then I've got these, they're like little ice cube objects. What might rhyme with grape?
Tape.
There we go. Now this one might get a little hard. A banana.
Anna.
Yes, perfect. Then we have a lime. Time. And then what else came in here? I'm going with a strawberry because you can see the texture on it. Strawberry. Larry. Perfect.
Thinking away the
And then when you're thinking of spider,
I have two more over here, Tom.
2 more? Okay.
think of all our nursery
Rodder.
rhymes.
Rodder.
There we go.
And do you remember Miss Muffet?
Who sat on the table.
We need any more pens?
Yes. So when you're looking at that, it's just cool to rhyme. And I pulled out the fruit too, because when we're young, we talk about making patterns too. So if we were to make a couple patterns out of the fruit, you could do 2 grapes, and then what you could throw a banana next. Then what else could you put?
Strawberry.
A strawberry. And then you, the what?
Lime.
And then you can start the pattern all over again, and you guys can stretch it down the table. You don't have to touch a spider. Just go ahead and make this pattern. I'll put this here. This is your main pattern, so make it down the table. And then say the fruit as you put it out there. And these are totally new fruit. I picked them up at the DG. Can you see? Okay.
Oh, she put it in there for you.
I'm not gonna hear you saying nothing.
Yeah, say that.
Sorry.
So you want to say like, well,
Yeah.
lime and then grape.
And then a grape.
And then a
Banana.
A banana.
banana, then a
Strawberry.
Strawberry and then lime.
And then a lime.
perfect. And as we make patterns, we just keep doing that when we're little. And kids love that. You can think of your Lego blocks, but as they're doing it, what you get them to talk about is the color, right? If they don't know their fruit yet, go ahead and let them say their colors. And if they want to count, start counting with Kelly. I know my grandkid, right now he'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we're still trying to share with each other, what are we really saying? And the more we talk with them, just plain little fruit lineup, anything. And with the rhyme game here, this is a rhyme race. So now you can grab a piece of fruit. Okay? And you can also just get little figurines out. Anybody know this guy?
Mike.
Mike from,
Monsters Inc.
there we go. They can become anything in your house. So it says start here. So can anybody say, what rhymes with cat?
Hat.
Okay, move it. You get to move yours. What rhymes with web?
Deb.
There we go.
Where we at?
Right here, Chad.
On the bottom.
Or Jeb. I didn't think of that
I
one.
didn't think of Jeb either. I work with 2 Debs, that's what comes up.
Now, what rhymes with dark?
Bark.
Bark. That's all my dogs do, right? And the kids know these words. So just go ahead and move it. Now, this is what, yep, you can just keep moving because what rhymes with treat? Meat.
Beat.
Beat. So anything you're getting out of the kids, because it's hard to tell because those kids know a lot of vocabulary. They don't have to write it. So this is where they're not writing vocabulary. But we're playing and seeing.
I bet at the table.
I hope they know this one. Rhymes with ghost.
Mo.
Host.
Toast. Moses with the
Mostest with the hostess.
Yeah.
And what rhymes with trick? My, sick, I'm sick. Now my old name was Click. So all the time the kids would say, up on the housetop. So that's what I got most of the time. So there's where I would know that one. And what rhymes with boo?
Who?
Boo or moo? What about bat?
Cat.
So see how they went backwards? Because the first one we had was rhyming with cat. Now this one might, I'll tell them to get their mouth ready. What rhymes with fly?
guy.
Oh yeah, yummy stuff. They're knowing it. And then what rhymes with moon?
Sun.
Yeah. So those are all your nursery rhyme things. And if you did a good job, you can pass the caramel apples down.
That's the best part.
But you still have to talk, even though if you unwrap that, okay?
Aw.
Now what I like to do too is, this one may be a little hard, but I'm going to give you the first part of, okay, and I'm going to try and do this so it might work.
Oh no.
I know. Let me, they are so stuck. I'm going to give you those two, okay? My little bats are stuck. Okay, there's two. So you'll just go ahead and keep both cards for a minute
Okay.
because they are sticking together. And that'll be one for you, one for you. Now what these bats are, you have a first part of a word, right? And I went ahead and gave let me look here. Ooh. Okay, where'd he go? So this is your first part of the word. So you and I'll play. What is the first part of your word?
Muff.
Muff. Mine is fin.
Nothing.
So together it'd be muffin, right? So what was yours?
Boo.
Okay, or slow. Oh,
And
oh.
mine's
Okay.
this.
Oh,
We're bonus.
Bonus.
a bonus. Have you heard of the word bonus before?
Yes.
Okay. So what about your bat?
Mag
Mag.
and then net.
Mag and then net. So you put them together. What word?
Mag.
Magnet. They stick together. So that's where you can get magnets off the refrigerators too. What
Yeah.
about my bat?
Lit.
Tab and lit. What word?
Tablet.
So when you put the bat wings together. Okay, what about your guys?
I have hick.
Hit.
Aw.
What'd you say? Cup. Hit. Hiccup. So they love that one, especially when you put those in. So this is just little pictures of bats that already came together. And anytime I share things with you, I'll tell you it's on a free website. So that's where I like to get little things being free. So this just starts off with our little kids, if you're thinking, but it gets them talking. So we did just rhyming, then we went to syllables, okay? Now we're gonna go to, see everything, we just cut it out, all right? Now, I don't know, these did not work well as game card shuffling, but I will give you 4 to 5 cards.
I have to go.
Okay, no
I'm sorry.
worries. No
My
worries.
baby's got a game.
I'll be me and you together, okay? So that way we'll have cards. There's some cards. And here's some cards. And then I have a set of cards for you. Now, has anybody ever played Go Fish?
No.
No?
You and your sister.
Well, what happens is, I pass out the cards, right? Now, this is for candy corn pieces. I thought that might make a mess everywhere, so I stuck with the suckers. So, I want to make a match, okay? So the way these are, candy corn, it has, so that's where I can get my littles to play with me. It only has a consonant vowel constant on it. So if they're going, can you see what I'm saying? Can you guess? You're guessing what I'm saying. So then you might whisper to your friend, oh, that's mop. Okay? So I have mop. Does anybody have one with mop?
I do.
So then you have to give it to me,
Oh,
and
man,
then
that was my
I made a match. Okay? So I'm trying to match my candy corn. And what would be neat if I had the real candy corn, but I figure, you know, I'd have it everywhere in a minute. Okay, your turn.
Okay, and if we already have a match, we let it
Yes, yes,
down? Okay, and you just want me to say those? as I
yes,
go
you
down?
gotta say them.
Like, pin,
Okay, pin.
fin,
Ooh, someone
and now
didn't.
I can ask.
Now you can ask.
Would anybody have run?
Me. Oh, she's
Oh, she made another match.
What if you have blanks?
Then,
Oh.
do you have two blanks?
Yeah.
Then you can make your own.
Oh.
I didn't have two blanks. I only have one blank. Yeah, so you're ahead. Yeah. There you go.
What if you have one blank? How does that work?
And then
If she had two, I was wondering.
you can guess who might have a blank. But she had two, so
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
yeah.
So it matches. And I hope you didn't hear. But someone else had
Yeah.
a blank.
I just saw her too. I didn't know.
I know, so she got the good
Yeah,
bonus.
she sure did. Good job.
Fix.
I have fix.
Wait, so if you have two blanks, you can make up a word?
Yes.
Do you have to make up a word for each one?
No, it'll be a match.
Cat.
Very
Oh,
good.
there you go.
There you go, cat. So you get it already. So now you have two matches over me with one. Okay?
Box.
Box. Okay, my word is vet.
I got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Blank.
And your challenge is to guess
Oh, okay.
who might have their out, right? Those two, because they
Yeah,
had
you got
two
the two.
blanks.
Okay.
So you wouldn't guess one of them.
I'm gonna guess you have one.
Because she disclosed. It's all right. Now, what's going to be your word?
Fox.
There you go.
Perfect. All right.
Oh, we gotta go. I thought we was done.
It's okay.
Okay, get.
Oh, she's out.
Yeah, she's out.
Is she the only one out? Or did
Yep.
you already have out?
No, they just have matches.
Okay. Well,
She
there you
gets the
go.
Sucker.
So if you want a sucker.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to do, but at least we got the kids talking, right?
Yes.
So this is a cool little game because it is candy corn and looking into that. So the next thing I want to do is, I'm just going to show you this one. Make it light.
Yes.
Okay. Now what this is called is a blending game. Now I gotta get my glasses. Okay. This has a blend in it, okay? So you're gonna try and guess the blend, and I'm gonna give you the end of the word, okay? So, ugh is at the end of the word, and this is also a little insect. but it has to have 2 letters at the beginning. Any more deep, and it's kind of long, and it leaves a trail.
Oh.
Do we go ahead and guess?
Slime.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take her light, and she's gonna shine it through.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Is that right? You got it right? Because when it's laying down, you can't really see through it. This is called the bone x-ray game.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
I have to get the light, or you can get those little tiny flashlights. But there's a whole set, and that's where you're trying to work with the blends. But it's kind of cool how it's on the bugs, and then the kid gets to tell details. So you and I could work together on that. Isn't that one a cool one?
Yeah,
All right.
I feel like they would really like that.
Yeah.
They would.
Now for this one,
With those little blue lines at the bottom.
I need you to pass my toilet paper around. I need you to take off 5. I know, they're there.
Okay.
So just maybe rip you one off and then pull apart 5.
Oh,
Okay, that might be easier because it's perforated in there, but it's a little hard.
and you want them torn apart?
Uh-huh. This is the challenge of the night. I didn't buy Charmin.
I only like churches. Can you see the little?
They're there, so if you just make it up, that'll be fine.
I got it.
Well, I ripped mine on an accident.
That's okay.
Is that that cheap toilet paper?
She's done us
Family
again.
toilet paper.
Do y'all have any Charmin over there?
The Charmin was not in the budget.
I mean, what, 4? No, that you ripped that one in half. Yeah. No, there's no line.
Now this is my little friend right here,
Yeah, there is.
and this is called Mummy Pyramid Sentences. And it just so happens we have to use toilet paper because the mummy looks like a toilet paper. And I'll get to the top one. There's the I. So I'm trying to get you one that says I at the top. And I made you lots of different, gotta find the I at the top. Because the mummy is all the same. Here it is. Okay, now you have the I. So you have to make yourself a little room with this. So now that we've talked about words and rhyming, this is where we're gonna use the toilet paper squares. Oh, I need some too. If we were to wrap it, we could. Okay, so you need 5, right? Okay, let's see. So what is the first word in the picture in the top left corner? I. So you push I up here. What's the next word?
Job.
I. What's it say? Can. I can.
Wait, I'm confused.
Okay, is there an I can right there?
No.
Oh, she's on, no.
Oh, well, I did not read it right.
Maybe the pages got shuffled.
Yes.
You might
Did
have.
yours say job too? Yeah, yours does too.
Okay, I can. Well, here's the can.
Okay.
I can. Let me find my
Oh,
eyes.
here's the I can.
Got one? Okay, yeah, pass it down. Thank you. Sorry, I was looking and I didn't put all my glasses back on. So we've got I can. What's the next word?
Oh, that's tap.
Tap.
Oh,
It's,
mine's hug.
it's okay.
Okay.
What is yours?
Oh, here we go. Right
Oh, yours
page
is
now.
fine.
Okay. So what's that word?
Tag. That's the
Okay, and they could do it. And then right in the middle, since it's a CVC, you can say, give me the sounds in tap. Ah. And the cool thing is, you also have fingers to tap with, okay? So I'll pass those out in just a minute. So I can tap. What's the next word?
The.
The. So I've got one more mummy square. I was going to say toilet paper square. And what's the last word?
Map.
Map. So now let's Go all together. I,
I can tap the map.
and then what you see is he's got lots of sentences, the little mummy does, for you to play with. Okay? So then I say, who can cover the board? And then you'll have each a mummy finger. So you'll keep moving on if you were playing. So you cover up that one, that you've done it, and the mummy finger. That's a Frankie finger. And then I also have a skeletal finger in there. So yeah. So the kids love it because I've done a lot of reading, right? And they don't know it because they think I'm playing games. So look how many times I've gotten them into words. Okay? And my last one, I liked this one. This is what you're going to use with the Frankie finger. This book is called The Spell, okay? And I didn't fold it because I wanted you guys to work with it for a minute. Because you have orange highlighters. And I made it orange highlighters. And it folds into a little book. But first, I think there might be, you separate that. There might be 2 books there. It might just be one. Okay, here's your book. Okay.
I didn't want to.
Just want to do something.
Does one of you girls want to sit beside me? You want to sit right here? You can work together.
All right. So does everyone have a reading finger? Yeah? And there's an extra reading finger. So you have an orange highlighter, okay? So some of your words, if you look at the title, what's the title? The Spell. So when you flip up the book to start, you are looking for, the words up here. With my glasses. Okay, when you're looking, can you find the word goblin on page 1? Do you see how there's numbers at the bottom? So highlight the word goblin. This one has an S on it. That'll work. And do you also see the word gremlins? And it's in the same sentences, isn't it? Yeah, it's right beside each other. Now, it's hard to do, but your little Frankie finger or a skeleton finger is going to go under each word when we read it together, okay? I know it's kind of big, but I like it because it fits right there. You ready? Want to read it together? Okay. And then you just put a piece of donut in, but that's okay. You chew it up and then you can catch in when you want to, okay? All right, ready? Put your finger under the first word. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The sun has set and the goblins and gremlins skip and spin in the dim grass. No one can see them. Ooh. So the next page, go ahead and highlight goblins. Did you find it?
You see goblins on your page? See goblins just like this?
Yeah, come on. And we're doing the word gremlins. Do you want to try a finger to point to words?
Found it.
Did you find it? Good job. Gremlins is in there again. The new word we're going to look for is swamp. Swamp. Do you see that in that page? So highlight the new word.
I found it.
You found it? Good job. Okay. There was another cool word in there that I did through the flashlight. Do you remember what word that was in the flashlight? Slug. Go ahead and underline. And in this one, there's more than one slug. There's slugs.
I found it.
Did you find it? I love highlighting. It's highlighting fun, isn't it?
I like highlighting.
I do too. Now, do you want to put your Frankie finger on? Because we've got to make sure that we follow along in the words. Does everybody have a finger? Okay, we're on page 2, everybody. Ready? Put your finger under the first. Yeah, use whatever finger you want. All ready? You can put yours underneath. Ready? The goblins and gremlins like to swim in the swamp and slip the slugs in the bag in the bog. The bog for fun because they're slipping. Aren't those slugs slippery? That makes a tongue twister, doesn't it? Yeah, so these are kind of fun games, aren't they? But mine are all reading games. Kind of easy, huh? Now I've got a fly in here. So what'd you think about these? Kind of fun games? Yeah. So you can take the rest of the story home and the orange highlighter and the finger so you can practice reading. Sound good? Yeah?
Mommy,
Because it's...
not the white finger.
Oh, I've got one right here if you want to trade me. I don't mind. Does anybody want to trade? Okay, you can trade me. Perfect. Thank you very much. I know. Don't you love pointing when you read? Isn't that fun? Yeah, so all these games. So that's what I do. I try to think of things that make reading totally fun, right? Yeah? Okay. Well, you can have the board game, and you can have some of these mummy tales.
Mommy tale.
Yeah, see how we put the mummies? And yeah, this was the mummy tale, see? And we followed the mummy story.
What's the mommy?
I've got it right here for you, so you can take it home, okay?
Here you go, she had those for her money too.
Yeah. And here's you a whole batch of mummy tales. So we used the toilet paper squares to push the words. Like the bad man is sad. So you used a toilet paper square for each word. So hey, it was fun. Do you have any questions about the games? Kind of fun games, huh? And the fingers are totally cool. Okay? Well, thank you for letting me share these games. Okay? Anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'll get it ready for Miss Kelly, and she does more with the math games. Yeah. Do you need me to plug?
Oh,
Thank you,
It won't be too bad. What grade are you in, honey?
4th.
All right, well, you're gonna fit right in with what we're getting ready to do.
Does she want a Frankenstein finger?
Maybe.
Do you want a Frankenstein finger? Here you go. She'll have a hug over mine.
All right, here we
And
go.
here's some crafts and stuff from the last one. Have that too.
Well, I'm so glad you all were here. We get to the math and everybody leaves.
They
What's
heard the
that
word
tell-
math, they took off running.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you, math. Just a little bit. See you, math. No, we're gonna make it fun too. So I'm Kelly Arthur, and I am your curriculum specialist for math, concentrating in math for Wayne County, and this is my 35th year as an educator. I was in the classroom 30 years and gave it up, but no, I didn't give it up. I thought I would always be there, but this opportunity came to help support teachers and be in every school and work with every kid and doing math, and I absolutely love it. So I love Fort Gay. I get to work with Aaron and some of the teachers here, and was at Tulsa. Ron and I were at Tulsa last Friday doing some training, and so we just love it. So thank you for inviting me and letting me come in and talk to you about how we can play games at home to build math skills, okay? First of all, how many, you'll have students in elementary or grandchildren that are in elementary?
Kindergarten first.
Kindergarten first, they go here, okay? And then you're in 4th grade here? Awesome, so you have Miss Messer, do you have Miss Dawson? Miss Messer, okay. So I'm in there sometime, you may see me, come in and do some lessons. But what I want to show you first, before we get started, is the textbook, the math book. You may have seen this come home, or you may not have, that we're using now. We just adopted this last year. And share with you the philosophy of this book, okay? And it ties in great with what we're talking about tonight with the gaming, okay? So this comes from the book, and it says that this book and its philosophy for learning math was founded upon the principles that children are curious problem solvers. They want to know about the world around them. They want to figure things out, and they start doing that from a very young age. And so this textbook just doesn't teach, standard algorithm, this drop the ones, carry the tens, traditional math like we learned it. It has its place, and it does get to that part, but the building of that understanding starts with games first, and getting their hands on what we call math manipulatives, so that kids can make connections in the brain, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, and so that they can visualize the math while they have their hands on it, so that they understand it when they start writing problems like we traditionally see them, okay? So, with that in mind, you will see in their book where they're doing traditional math problems, but every lesson they will pause and there will be a game. And we're going to play one of those here in just a minute. And the game acts as like the traditional worksheet. We used to do worksheets to practice our problems. We are going to actually play one of those games here in just a minute, so you can see how the game acts as the practice worksheet. So we're combining the traditional with the games. Does that make sense? Now, I get this all the time. I don't know anything about this new math. Well, let me clear that up a little bit, okay? Because new math is not new math. Math has been math for centuries. It's these standards that we teach now were actually adopted in 2010. So we've been teaching math in the same way for the last 15 years. But they just now are showing it in different ways. So it's okay if I divide a different way than you do, as long as we get to the same answer. So the teachers, when they're teaching their math standards, which are given to them by the state, it says in their standards for them to teach 2 to 3 different ways of solving the problem, and then the student chooses with the one they're most fluent in. Okay, so like division, 2 goes into 3 however many times, and then, so that is the very complicated way of doing division. There's actually 2 other ways that make it quite simple. One, they don't even really need to know their multiplication facts, as long as they can do repeated subtractions by 10, hundreds, and thousands. It's called partial quotients. So kids love that. There's another method called the box method, and your child's going to learn all those different ways this year with division. And eventually, in 6th grade, they will get to where they learn the math the way we were taught. But the elementary, then you can start helping with homework, right? Up until that point, elementary school is all about building that conceptual understanding, the visual, the connection in the brain to patterns, and to build things with blocks so that they can see the math, just like you were doing here with reading. So a kindergartner doesn't start school and the teacher hand her the book and say, read this chapter book. What do they have to learn first? They have to learn the letters, the letter sounds, the phonics, the blends, all the things that make the words. Do you like how I use that,
I
Ron?
love it.
Same thing with math. There are certain steps that for years we've left out of math that need to happen first so that they can understand what they're doing and not just mimic or memorize. Because we live in a world of AI, and it's very fast. And if we give kids only one way to do anything, they're going to be lost in the world. We've got to create problem solvers and thinkers. Okay? So that's what this is founded on. I just want to take a minute to share with you parents, when you see this come home, you can call me and email me and say, Kelly, I don't understand a thing about this. Will you help me? And I'll be glad to help you. But it's really quite simple. And one approach I like to use with parents is, we traditionally say, and I did this with my kids, what'd you do in school today? And kids always say, nothing. It was boring or whatever. If you change that maybe to, hey, let's play school. I want you to teach me something you learned today. And you switch roles. Then they get to have a little control, and now it always works. It seems like that they like taking on that role and to sit down and show you. Okay. Let me click it over here. In the book, every, they're called topics, but we used to call them chapters. Every chapter has a family letter that comes home. I'm just going to pass these around so you can see examples of them. But they're in the students' books, and it tells the families what the math is that they're learning that week or couple weeks. And there's always a section called Family Fun. So you get to see what your child is doing. It introduces it to you. You have a section called Family Fun, and that's always a game. It's a game that you can play at home with your child to reiterate and support what they're doing in the classroom that week with the math. You also get the vocabulary words that they're learning. So you can say those with your kids at home, talk about them at home in the car. What is an equation? What is a fact family? You can look around the house for words, like, if you're cooking, talk about fractions, right? If I'm using 2/3 of a cup, then, and fraction is my word on my family letter, talk about what that means and use that word and model that word with your child, okay? So I love the family letter. I love that this book carries that. So let's take a look at, this is one of the games. And you're in 4th grade, so you're going to be great at this. Okay? Who did you have last year? Okay. Who?
Miss Brody, you can speak a little louder.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
okay.
us in here.
Are you started learning multiplication last year, right? A little bit? Okay. So, we're going to play one of the games, and it's called Rectangular Fit with Equations. So, you guys can play each other. How you want to do? You play mom. Okay? This is from our 3rd grade book, and in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, children are learning in kindergarten, how to count, how to assign a quantity to a group, like they'll count those objects and assign a number. Then they learn to group them, compare them. They learn to build equations to 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, 4 plus 1 is 5, then to 10. Then they learn their facts to 10, and then in 1st grade to 20, and addition and subtraction and place value in 2nd grade. When you cross over to 3rd, however, that's when we move from that additive reasoning to multiplicative reasoning, okay? So 3rd grade's the first time they see multiplication, but it's built on all the understanding they had in K1-2. Okay, so we're going to look at a game where and it's really, I can't wait to see what you think of it, about how they're teaching how to see and visualize multiplication. Okay? We learned it, stand by your desk and repeat the facts or get in trouble, right? Well, we get to that part. It's called automaticity. We want them to be fast with their facts, but there's ways to teach it to where they can understand that 6 times 3 is 6 groups of 3 things. Right? Okay. So this is one way they build their multiplication facts. Are you two gonna play? Me and you gonna play?
Yeah, I sure we don't know what's over the
And these are the directions.
one.
But what's really nice too about our book is that the teacher gets a video, and I'm gonna show you the video, and the teacher can show this to her students. And the video shows the kids how to play the game, but the kids also get the instructions. So each pair gets 2 dice, and then you're gonna pick, each one of you gonna pick a color you wanna be. Okay? Now this is so the teacher's done the lesson, and when they get to this part of the book where there's a game, they will spend class time playing this game. So let's see the value in it, okay?
What color do you want? I'll pick green.
What's your color? You pick me out one. All right, let's watch the video for the directions. Nope, did I go on another thing?
Yep.
All right, let's do it this way. I think I brought it up.
She gets competitive. That's like
That's why they put us together.
Okay.
We get in the better. What if we can't do multiplication?
Let's play Rectangular Fit with Equations. You have played a version of this game before. To begin, you need 2
Kelly's
number
not showing
cubes,
up on the
2
screen.
different colored crayons or colored pencils,
I forgot I
and
got
the
to
recording
okay,
sheet.
hold on. Technology.
You have to get a source for the HDMI or source.
We did that, I did that. But she has to duplicate the screen for us to do it.
All right, we got it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, will you
There
use
it
it
is,
away?
yeah. That's there.
We got it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's play Rectangular Fit with Equations. You have played a version of this game before. To begin, you need 2 number cubes, 2 different colored crayons or colored pencils, and the recording sheet.
Do we have our supplies?
You and your partner each roll 1 number cube to determine who will go first.
Okay, let's do
The
that.
player with the greater number goes first.
Of course I get one.
On your turn, first,
Okay. Do we roll it?
Yep.
We know who's going first? Me? All right. You're gonna be playing by yourself. As we go back and forth. Okay, what to do over here.
Yeah, you want me
You're
to
good
be?
for it.
roll both number cubes.
Okay, so the first player's going first. You're gonna roll both number cubes. Okay?
Next, draw and color a rectangle on the game board with the number of rows and columns you rolled.
All right, so roll. The first player rolls. Okay? And you are going to draw a rectangle on your game board that shows the number of rows and columns of that rectangle. Rows going this way, columns going up and down. Okay? So I have 5 rows of 2, right? Or 2 rows of 5. It can go vertical or horizontal. Okay? And then you color that in.
Mine's 1-1.
Oh, you got an easy one.
How did you do that?
And so this,
This way.
yep, you can go 5 that way, and then how many columns are you gonna have? 2. There you
I
go.
spoke too soon. Oh.
Now, imagine this being your bathroom floor you're laying new tile in. Okay? This also teaches the students about area. That area is the measurement inside of a rectangle or a square. And it teaches them, we know it as, when we measure a room, my room is 5 by 2 feet, or 10 by 12, right? They're learning this right now when they're making these rectangles. So we're learning, and you'll go all the way across with your 2, yeah, that rows and columns actually are dimensions when we're talking about area, okay? So we have 5,
Go place.
yep. Got your rectangle, 3 6 by 3 and 3 by 6. Very good. Okay, Tony, hit play.
Then, label your rectangle rectangle with a multiplication equation that represents the area. When you cannot fit your rectangle on the game board, you receive a strike and lose your turn. Once you have 3
Okay,
strikes,
you can stop right
Right
there.
on top of it.
So,
Yeah.
you can look at, if you can't, there's 2 things a student can do here. Some kids will look at what they've drawn and write the multiplication equation. Okay? Some will look at the dice. Okay? So you got an easy one, so what's your equation?
1 times 1 is 1.
1 times 1 is 1, and the student can see that that's just 1 unit, right? Okay, so you're going to write 3 times 6 equals 18. You're going to write 5 times 2 is 10. Now, let's say they write 5 times 2, but they don't know what it equals, because they don't know their 6s yet, or they don't know their, 5s yet, or whatever. They usually know 2s and 5s real quick. How can they figure out the answer?
Just got color boxes.
Count the color boxes, right? So we're learning a whole lot of things here. We're learning area, we're learning about rows and columns, we're learning what equations match that area, and so now when they go and learn these facts, they've got a picture in their mind of what that looks like and how big that is, right? Okay, so let's try another one. You ready? Let's just go a couple more rounds. Next person's turn, that would be me. All right, here we go. Now, on this game board, so I've got 4 by 1, right?
3 and 6.
Okay. I'm just gonna go right beside you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't go down any because it's just 1 column. And you are a lot better at color than me. Okay. So I want to try this. Is there a black one in there? Okay. And you just keep going with the game until 4 times 1 equals 1, 2, 3, 4. So the kids can count if they don't know their fact.
6 across.
Okay? And you just keep going. So if we just keep going and building rectangles, and the next time I roll, I can't fit a 6 by 6 on here, which would be 36 boxes, then I get a strike. And the first person that gets to 3 strikes win. And you can do this at home with your kids, right? Something else. So what are your thoughts on that? Before they start learning their facts. Well, let's just go around and talk about it a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like this would be a lot easier than just trying to memorize everything.
So we introduce facts.
Because they can
They can
count
actually
them
see
and they
it.
can actually see it.
They can actually see it.
And it's very hands-on too. It's not just trying to memorize something, it's having to really think it through.
Right.
And actually color it yourself and put your equation, they have to really think it through.
Well, and all the kids are
And be
going to be
hands-on.
successful because you're differentiating the instruction. So, because every kid learns a different way.
Yeah.
So this is going to help all kids learn.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's about building equity in the classroom where all kids get a chance to engage with grade level standards, no matter what level they're on, right? So we have some kids who are really, really good at math, and it's, that comes to them easy. And we have some kids where they're better readers and writers than they are at math. So now we've made everything, we've leveled the playing field when we have hands-on activities like this. So let's ask, tell me your name again, sweetheart. What do you think about this when you're learning multiplication?
Do you like it? Does it seem easy?
You like playing the games? You want to think about it?
She's really backwards.
So think about if you keep going with the game, and let's say each person was able to make 6 squares. That's how many different multiplication facts that they've learned, right? They've learned 12 different facts, or they have learned that a math property called the commutative property, because 5 times 2 can go this way, but it can also go up and down, 2 times 5 going down the board. So when they see that that's both 10, all I have to do is move my factors around. Now they've learned a math property without having it to be taught to them in, notes or read it out of the book. They actually get to see it. What do you think about it?
How it is, and then pick a color and decide on what number you.
Yeah. So they're engaged, it's hands-on, they can visualize it, and they can start building their math facts. And now we're gonna move them off of this, they'll eventually memorize it, right? But starting to learn them, this is how we like to start, okay?
Mom, what else?
All right. Now, something else. How many of you guys, and you may still do it, go to Mama's and she's got a deck of cards or a puzzle on the table that she's working? How many of you grew up like that? Playing cards, playing solitaire, building, playing with puzzles, playing board games, playing board games at home? Well, I want to give you this. This is 25 different games you can play with your child at home with a deck of cards. And it goes through, and it has a small little paragraph that explains how to play it and what, that's okay,
And a banana.
and what math skills it's helping him with. So cards are the best at helping kids learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, even fractions. When you put one card on top and one card on bottom, so there's a game in here for fractions as well. And then we're gonna talk about, does she get one? Okay.
I'm used to.
Huh?
I said I'm used to, of course, on that one.
Oh, Uno is another one? Yes. So let me show you a couple more. Let me get back to my,
Yeah. Wait, you got the strawberries? I got two.
Nobody cares if you get them open.
Can you give me the one that I have?
reach your one. What do you want? There's chocolate.
okay. So let's talk about board games.
Board games?
With primary kids, K to 3, board games are great for teaching kids problem solving, strategy, even a little bit of competitiveness. But it's they're engaging, they're fun, and it builds what we call executive functions. So let's talk about what those are for a minute.
Because I have goatee.
Display it real good.
Because I'm more bananas than you.
Nothing like that. Why, how do we get this slime going here?
You have to take it off too, okay, don't you?
Do I?
Think so.
He's the only lady.
Okay.
No, but it's just showing on yours.
Alright, Wendy's, hold on just a minute. Alright, we got anything up there? Tony?
It's coming.
Just a second.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Alright. So let's talk about what these executive functions are for a little bit. Executive functions are those soft skills that kids need in school, not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. They have to learn how to get along. They have to learn social skills. They have to learn how to reason and problem solve. And our math book makes a deliberate attempt every time they start a new chapter and they have a game in that lesson to build these executive functions. So let's see what what some of these are. For example, working memory. Our working memory is like your brain's whiteboard, and it will hold so much before it wipes out, right? So working memory is the ability to temporarily hold information and move that information around for other processes, right? What games do you play at home that would help improve working memory? And hint, hint, I just gave you a whole packet of cards, right? So when you're playing cards with your child, and even like with Rhonda when she was doing the Go Fish, they would have to manipulate information in their mind. I have a fish or a ghost, and she has a Frankenstein, so that they can remember to use that later. Does that make sense? And cards are a great way to build that working memory. Here's another one, and this is something really big teachers work on with students. You know, we've got our 1 kid, our 2 kids, our 5 kids, but they have 25, right? And not all of them are great at self-regulation. And self-regulation is that soft skill, that executive function that allows us to hold on to our feelings for a minute, right? Not just blurt out, but actually channel those actions and feelings to more of a goal-directed way. So when kids are playing with each other, board games at home or card games, they are learning how to self-regulate when they have to pause and take a turn, when they don't win, and they instead of getting mad, right? They learn that self-regulation. So it gives them that opportunity. If they're on the iPad all the time, they don't learn these skills. They just don't. And I will tell you, as a teacher of 35 years, every time I'm in a classroom doing math, and it's time, and you give a kid a choice between getting on the computer and playing a game or playing each other, they choose each other every time. And you wouldn't think that, but that's
You give me a banana.
kids who were born after cell phones. The idea of playing with each other is a novelty because they're always on digital. And novelty meaning something new, right? Okay, cognitive flexibility, that's a big executive function. The ability to, cognitive is our thinking processes, right? So flexibility meaning being able to adapt as we go. So it's the ability to quickly adapt to change in activities or environment. Okay, so we learn those skills as well when we're playing board games.
So you give me an apple and you give
So
me a
let's-
banana.
The one I gave you is called playing cards. What is the math involved in playing cards?
So give me an
So
apple
it's
and
fun,
a
it's
banana.
hands-on, it's engaging. They have to be strategic. Have you ever played hearts with your family on Thanksgiving, or spades or spoons? And you have to think strategically about what numbers are coming up so that everybody, you all have played these games
We
before?
play Uno with the bishop.
Yes, there you go, take these home.
haven't played those. I love phase 10.
Oh, yeah.
We never had these cards in our home before, so.
Just regular deck of cards?
Hoping you would have
Well,
given me a
they're good
banana.
for other things besides poker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me a
So just
banana.
buy, yeah, $1 pack of cards and build all
You
these
know
math
the ones that
skills.
you gave me.
So with the little ones, what grade are they
Give me
in?
which one you didn't give me.
Okay, so they're learning their math facts.
I
Right?
didn't give it to you.
So cards will help with that. If I have a
And I'll
2,
give you a banana.
what card do you have to get to 10? Right?
No,
And so
not
that's here in
those
this game.
ones.
So that's
No,
called
give me a
numeracy and
banana,
number
apple,
sense.
and
We
grape,
want
and
kids to
strawberry.
be able to have good number
And I'll give
sense.
you the.
For example,
Get those.
what
No,
makes
you have
up
to
the
give me
number
which
5?
one you give
a
me.
3 and a 2. What makes a 7?
Get off
A
of
5
you.
and a 2,
No, you
or a
have to
3 and
have
a
one.
2.
You have to give me one.
So, you know, they, having that number sense, 1 plus 654, right? They can picture that in their mind
Wait, give me that
if they
one.
have this good
I've
number
got
sense,
2.
right?
Give me one.
Okay, and it also improves
Then
pattern
maybe we'll have
recognition.
to- I don't
Gosh,
know.
cards is all about patterns, okay? And it strengthens their fluency to do computation. All right, all these board games,
I need one.
these are crazy great for math skills,
Do I have
okay?
the same? No.
So with Monopoly and Life, they're counting money,
I only need
they're learning strategy, like do I hold on to my money or am I gonna buy a boardwalk? So that also goes back to those executive functions, right? Of being able to be flexible.
one.
Battleship, in 5th grade, when she gets to 5th grade, she's gonna learn a math skill called coordinate graphing. It's what all GPS is based on, right? And those are the ordered pairs you put on a grid. It's like a map. And they learn how to graph those ordered pairs for later on in algebra when they get to middle school. But that all starts in 5th grade, and the best game to play to help with those skills is Battleship.
And a banana.
So get a game of Battleship next year and play with her at home, and it's really gonna help her with that. Yahtzee. It's a dice games, dice, dominoes, cards. All those games are great for building numeracy skills and math skills, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Jenga, you can put multiplication, addition facts on those. So when you write them on with a Sharpie on the blocks, and when you're building,
No, I don't.
they have to recite those.
Look on the table again. It's
Puzzles.
down.
This is a big one.
No, you put
We
it
talk
in
about
the
this all the time.
No.
Kindergartners.
Yeah.
They don't come to us anymore with good spatial awareness.
Your app.
And spatial awareness means understanding what shapes are and how to manipulate them to make other
You give
shapes.
me whatever.
And
that
for example, a
means.
rectangle is actually made out of 2 triangles,
I'll give you all.
right? So they take 2 triangles and you lay them on the edge and they make a rectangle. So this is a really
I'm
big
gonna
algebra
do
skill.
2 and 2.
Working
I'll give you
puzzles, like we used to do at
No, you have
grandma's
to give me all 3 of
or in our house, right?
Okay,
Are
which
great
one-
for building that
which number I
spatial
win on?
awareness.
Which
She's
number?
got ADHD and
Which
she.
one I have to get?
Oh, yeah, get as
Give
many
me-
puzzles in her
Give
hand
me
as you
my
can,
stuff
okay?
back.
Strategic and logical reasoning, those are those are very important skills for kids to have as they work through, the new math that they're learning, or different math skills that they're learning.
I just
Sometimes they can be difficult, so it does teach them that perseverance
Yes.
and that self-regulation.
I got
Like I'm not gonna just throw the table upside down. I'm gonna take a
Yeah.
breath, I'm gonna have some mindfulness,
Let me
and I'm gonna try it again. Those are very important skills for us to be productive, you know, in society and in life.
I see one in your hand.
And the,
1, 2, 3.
another one we really like is chess and
I
checkers.
got 1, 2.
You have to think about the other person's next move. That is a big math skill. Calculating how many moves ahead, that's a big math skill. Problem solving, spatial awareness of the board, where these pieces are. All good math skills. Now, last thing I wanted to give you, this is from the State Department. This is called Engaging Families, West Virginia. If you want to take your phone, there's a QR code here to link to the West Virginia's Engaging Families Facebook page.
I have 2.
And on that Facebook page are free literacy and numeracy games that you can play, videos of how to play those at home.